little bit so it's easier to see? Is that possible? No, who gets it? So you asked my background. That could be a very long answer, a very short answer. Because the older you are, the longer the answer is, right? So I was telling all of these folks, I've been 20 years in the United States, 20 years in Japan, and 20 years here in Silicon Valley. So while I was in Japan, I launched my own startup, and I got an angel investor. And I want to say it was a legitimate angel investor because I did not ask them. They didn't ask me to pay it back. All of a sudden, somebody said, 100万ぐらいいいですか? The 100万. It happened to be one of my students, and so I took the money. And from that million yen, whether I had it or not, a million yen is not the same as $1 million. Don't get too excited. But it was enough for us to get going. So we did it. That school still exists in Japan. It's about 30 years old now, maybe about 35 years old. We have several branches throughout Honshu, and then we have another branch in Hokkaido. And then we also expanded into Russia, into Far East Russia. And all of those schools still exist. I came back to Silicon Valley about 20 years ago. I came about 2001 or 2002. And I decided I was going to start another school, very similar to what I had in Japan, because I had all the curriculum and everything that I created. So I wrote a business plan, and I took it to the small business office of San Jose City. It took me a month to write that thing. It was about 60 pages, 70 pages long. But there I had the whole business plan, all the research, all the documentation, and I took it down to the small business office, and she did not know how to read the thing. What are you going to do? I mean, I did all that work, and she had no idea what to do with it. What are you going to do? Well, what do you do? How do you handle that? There's one page, it's called the executive summary, that tells you everything that's inside a business plan. I said, ma'am, this is what you'll look at. I pulled out the executive summary, I showed that to her, she gave me my money. And so we launched another school here with a loan from the San Jose City office. So I know what it's like to get an angel investor. I know what it's like for someone from the city, the bureaucracy, all that stuff, to give me money. And I also know what it's like to bootstrap. So I went to work at a university. I just wanted to teach and write books and live happily ever after. You know, when you get old, you don't want to work so hard, right? You just want to teach. You want to get paid for what you know, not what you do. So I'm teaching at this university, just minding my own business. We got a new president. The president said, you know what, Belew, I don't like you. Now I'm likable. Most of the time I'm likable, but for some reason he didn't like me, so he fired me. What's up with that? Well, the department chair said, well, you can't fire Belew because he teaches all the classes that nobody else wants. So it was a for-profit school. It was interior design and fashion design and all that other stuff, that like a hands-on kind of work. But they also had psychology and environmental science and speech and essay writing and all these very basics that everybody needs to know. So I taught all the basic classes because nobody else wanted to do it. And I taught them at the same times. I mean, at the times that nobody else wanted to teach. Nobody wants to teach a class on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Right? Well, I don't care. I'll teach Friday night at 8 o'clock. So I took all the time slots nobody wanted. I took all the classes that nobody wanted. And so when he fired me, the department chair said, you can't fire Bill. Nobody will do all the work that he's doing. So the president calls me and said, Bill, you know what, I thought about it. I changed my mind. I think I'll keep you on my staff. I said, well, thank you for that. I quit. I said, I quit. You are not going to decide my future. I'll decide my own future. You're not going to sit back in the room and crunch numbers and decide whether I can fit in your budget or not. So I walked out the door thinking, now what am I going to do? So I got online. I got in this forum. I just minded my own business, talking back and forth in this forum, and I got to talking about Japan. I was in Japan, I did this, but I was in Japan, I did that. And somebody in that forum said, if you have been to Japan, maybe these people over here will need you. Maybe they will want you. And it turned out there was a blog network. A blog network. Blogs, you know, what was a blog? Who cares about blogs, right? Well, back then people cared about blogs. Believe it or not, people still care about blogs. And so I went over to this company online, Dan Smith. Hey, Dan, you have this business website. It's all about all these different topics. Well, I lived in Asia for 20 years. I can write about business in Asia. They had nobody to do that. They said, well, that's a good idea. So they gave me a blog. And I started writing about the Pan-Asian region. Writing about Japan, I lived in Russia, I've been to India a bunch of times, I've been to China a bunch of times. So I knew things. Besides that, I know how to read. So if I call up a bunch of newspapers, I can read and I can decide I know something about it. So I just started writing about Asia online. My moment is just writing about Asia like this. And don't you know, people started coming. After about a month and a half, they said, wow, Bill, look what you're doing. Look at all the people coming to your website. What else do you know? I said, well, I know about Japan more than I know about anything else. So they gave me another blog only about Japan. So I started writing about Japan. And then another month later, wow, look at that, more people are coming. So what else do you know? So I have a PhD, education, so I can teach, I can pretend like I know things. So I started writing about education, and on and on and on. Now, fast forward, without blowing smoke, okay, without exaggeration, I've had approximately 90 million people come to my website. 90 million. 9000. Right? That's a kyoku. It's a big number. So 90 million people came, and they looked at about 150 million pages. That's a big number, right? That's 150 million pages they've come to look at. And my team, we've written probably 33,000 articles. 33,000 times we hit the push button, we pushed the button. 33,000 times, I'm like this. And of those 33,000, I personally wrote about 12,000 of them. Now, if you do something 33,000 times, and 100 million people come, and they do that 150 million different ways, you're going to learn something. Either that or you're really, really stupid. And generally, I'm stupid, but not all the time. So, if you do not, does anyone here not like numbers? Don't like numbers. Anybody here not like numbers? Because if you do not like numbers, you will be miserable. Because I'm going to show you number after number after number. Because what I want to share with you tonight is data-driven. Data-driven. I do this many ways, this like this, and after a time I can see that result. I know the numbers of what I need to do and how often I need to do them in order to see this. It's data-driven, and it's from my first-hand experience. It's from my first-hand. This is not hearsay. I didn't go read this on HubSpot. I didn't go read this on somewhere else. I did it myself. I have my own analytics. I've got my analytics up here. I'm going to tell you a few stories about some real people. These are my own clients. These are people I have worked with personally, and these are the results that we got. And then I'm going to tell you how we did that. And then you can decide whether that works for you or not. I'm going to show you how to bring people to your website. I'm going to show you how to get people from Twitter to your website. Who would think that was possible? Hate that platform. It's just the noisiest, ugliest place, but how to get people leaving Twitter to come to your website. And then how to use Facebook, and then how to use other methods. I am of the opinion that everybody, every startup, at some point, needs people. If you have an idea that doesn't need people, then I don't know why you're here. Everybody needs people at some point to make their idea good, to prove that their idea is worthwhile, to get money out of an investor, out of a bank, or just to pay the bills. We all need people. Japjot, not the coolest name in the world, right? Japjot, his name is Japjot. J-A-P-J-O-T, it's not derogatory toward Japanese, that's his name. Japjot became a client, and he tried so hard to get a meeting with an investor. And he talked to literally 50 different people on the phone. Hello, can I come present to you? And here's an email, can I come present my idea to you? 50 different investors. Nobody would give him an appointment. So, okay, Japjot, here's what we're going to do. So we took his website, and I have to be careful about telling you the names of the clients because people go bother them. I've done this before, and people call them up, how do you do that? What did he do? And they said, stop giving out my name, so I can't do that. So we took Japjot, and we hit hiswebsite.com/blog, B-L-O-G, not very creative, and we started creating content. Your product can do this. Your product can do this. My product can do this. If you need this, my product solves this problem. And we just started creating that content. And after about 2 months, the needle started moving. The needle. The numbers started going up. Now, this is not him, but the numbers started going up. And after 2 months, I took a screenshot of people coming to his website. And what I could do, and this is not his, but I'll come back. You can see Google Organic, right? You see Google Organic here. Organic, what does that mean?
Keywords.
They just came up, they showed up. And he minded his own business, he put things up there, and then he went and ate dinner. Took his wife out for coffee, and while he was doing that, somebody came to his website. That's organic. And so we took a picture. He didn't have a lot of traffic. He had like 200 or 300 or something like that. 300 people started showing up to his website. I said, now, Japjot, let's take a picture of that. Call the investor up. Say, I'm going to send you a picture to prove to you that real people are looking at my website without me doing anything. There is genuine, real, organic interest in my product. He got his next appointment. He didn't get the money. See, that's not my problem. The problem is, you know, I can't sell your product, but I can guarantee that I can get people to look at your product. I can guarantee that's what happens. I just can't make them like you. Because your idea might not be any good, right? So, that was Japanese. These are a couple of stories. These are some of my favorite, right? This one goes back. If I can find the dates. There's the dates up here. So it goes back 6 years. December till current, up till yesterday, right? And so it's very current. It's live. It's not something. I can't even Photoshop the thing. But you can see here, the line is flat. Why is the line flat? Because it did not exist. There was nothing there. And then here, there's just kind of little dots going up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, somewhere it looks like about August or something like that. Just kind of plowing along, nothing going on. And then right before January, all of a sudden things take off. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, this website belongs to an old lady and an old man. Now, old is, you know, not the same for everybody, but Josie was a grandmother. I think she was 49 at the time. Josie's 49 at the time, and she's married to a retired cop. And he was 58 or 60 or something like that. And so she had children from her previous marriage. He had children from his previous marriage. They got married. They had children. Very, very messy, just like all of us. I mean, they're just a regular people, is what I want to say. And so Josie and her husband, their whole thing is wood. They go around gathering pieces of old wood. This is California, right? We saved everything. We saved the wood. We saved the trees, whatever. So Josie and her husband grab these pieces of wood, they glue them together, cut them out, and sell them as cutting boards. Well, who would have thought? Who cares about cutting boards? They do. And so I do. And so they took these cutting boards. They don't weigh 5 pounds. They don't weigh 10 pounds apiece. And they put a bunch of these cutting boards in the back of their van. And they went driving up and down the coast of California. And they would set them up at farmers markets, and they would sell those things. And she said, Bill, I'm so tired of carrying these cutting boards everywhere. Is there a better way? So we start writing stories about custom cutting boards. Here's a cutting board for Valentine's Day. You can cut them in the shape of a heart. There's a cutting board for your wedding day. Here's a cutting board for your anniversary. And on she went. You know, Josie didn't do everything I told her, but she did her best. And you can see when she starts putting more content on her website, you can see what happens. And then look here. January, December of 2013, they just killed it. They killed it. They sold more custom cutting boards than Macy's or Bed Bath & Beyond or Crate & Barrel, all the major chains. They outsold all of them. They had never sold a single piece of wood online in their life, and they sold more than $5,000 worth on a $50 per average per board. Well, look at, and then they got orders from international orders. Bill, what do we do? What do we do? How do I send this cutting board to England? How do I sell this cutting board to South America? They had no idea. So they had spent so much time delivering their products that for an entire year, they never updated their website. Never updated. They had no time. But What happened the next year was, it's bigger than the first year. The content, the stories, the product information, this is how we solve your problem, outperformed the first year without doing anything. And they still had no time to know what happened the third year. You see, if you put more content on your website, more people will come. Now here's a rule. This is something, one thing that I promised, lessons that I learned, okay? Lessons I learned about marketing. It's easier for people to find you than it is for you to find them. Now, they've had 79,000, they have 80,000 people, 80,000 users, 79,000 people have come to your website. Here's your challenge. What's your name? Huh? Wani. Yeah. So here's what I want you. I want you to go out and come back after you've talked to 79,498 people. Go. Exactly. We get it. It's easier for 79,000 people to find them than it is for them to go find 79,000 people. When people, this is rule number 2. When people come looking for you, it's easier to do business with them than people you went looking for. Let's all go to the mall and say, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. Let me know how that works for you. Rather, let's provide the solution that our idea, our service, our product gives, put that online, and let's see if anybody cares about that. And when they search and they come and they care, they're convertible. Those people are easy to get money from. Now, we're not talking about sleazy, grabby money. We're talking easy, legitimate business. It's easier for people to find you than you find them. When people look for you, they're easier to do business with. Here's rule number 3. If you want more people to come to your website, give them more reasons to come. Now, I don't know how many people put up a page and said, well, I've got a page, where's all the people? And then someone said, Bill, I've got 30 pages, where's all the people? I have 30,000 pages and I buried you. If you've got a good idea, tell about that idea. The more we tell that idea, the more the people will come. Now, Josie, I had to do some math. And so what happened was, I had a general idea of how much money they were making. It was kind of a hobby. We're going to do this the rest of our lives until we get tired, because we're old, kind of a hobby, right? And so I had a general idea of how much business they were doing. Well, it turns out, one day out of, I don't know why I'm on Facebook. I don't like Facebook either, but I did it, but I do now. And so they put up a picture of a bucket of glue. A bucket of glue, for crying out loud. Like Elmer's glue, white glue, pull things together. There's a bucket of glue. And then she said, there was a message. We used to buy 1 bucket of glue every quarter. Every 13 weeks we have to buy a bucket of glue. She said, now we have to buy it every week. They're 13 times busier than they were back here. Now, I can guess, and I hope they don't watch this, but I could guess they were probably making about $40K up and down the coast, $40,000 up and down the coast of, and driving and gasoline and all that kind of thing. So they're making $40K. What's 40 times 13? That's right, it's $500,000. They've set up shop at downtown San Francisco, Twitter, and some of the other big organizations. Whenever they want to give a big present to a lot of people, they come to them, you see. And all they did was put up more content on their website. Give people more reasons to come, and they'll come. This one I did just for you. Anybody else here Chinese? You're Chinese? Anybody else? No, you're Indonesian. Okay. All right, Chinese. All right, this is a Chinese company. When I learned that I was coming here to ZGC or whatever it's called, it's kind of hard. I'm trying to say that real fast. ZGC, it's hard. So I have a Chinese company. They came to me because they couldn't get any traction. Couldn't get anybody to care about their idea. Now, this particular company, they're marathoners. Run. And their whole idea was a matchmaking service. They were trying to attract people in the U.S., to come to Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou to run the marathon. Because marathons are very hot in China, right? Yeah, of course they are, so you can make a lot of money. So their whole idea, let's see how many Americans we can get to come to China and spend money. That was their thing. They didn't speak English very well, but that's okay. And so you can see here, they just kind of plowed along for a while. Now, can anybody guess when we started working for them? Yeah, I'll say yes, I can see that, Bill. Say somewhere around, right here, around February, November, right? Wrong. We started working about here. You see, because it takes 3 months, 4 months, depending on the history of a site. It takes 3 months, 4 months before something will start to work. Now, here's a lesson that if you don't know this lesson, learn this lesson now. Marketing and product development must be done in parallel. If you create your product, and oh, we're done now, and then you think, well, now let's go find the people. Good luck with that. It won't work. You're going to need 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 9 months, depending on who you're competing with, before your idea catches on. And if you've created a product and you walk around with that product in your hand, under your arm, or on your website, wherever, for about 9 months, what's going to happen? It's going to be outdated, isn't it? Exactly. So prepare lead time. Now you saw the same thing back on Josie's, right? We saw the same thing back here. Can't see it very clearly. Let's try this. Well, what'd I do? Yeah, there. I really am in my account. All right, so I can't. I messed it up again. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm old. You know, cut me some slack here. So we'll go back here. So there we go. You can see there's always a ramp-up period before something catches on. If you don't prepare for that ramp-up period, your idea is going to be outdated before anybody finds it. Write that down somewhere. Make sure that while you're doing this, you're trying to get people there. Because if you don't, it's not going to work. It just simply won't work. So, we started here. About 3 months in, it took off. Off it goes. You can see where the people are coming from. Number one source, organic. 8,800 people. For the woodcutter people, organic, our number one source. Equals they don't pay for that, right? They didn't pay for that. So, this is fun to think about. You can see some peaks, right? We have a name for that. See this going like this? We call that Facebook fatigue. We call that Facebook fatigue. What's going on is they created this website, they went out and yelled at their friends, come see us, come see us. And in the beginning, all their friends came. And then their friends came again, and their friends, I ain't doing that no more. We've been there, done that, right? We wore out our friends. If you're going to take my picture, I need to know. You can see with your own eyes that they kind of wear out their friends. So when they finally figured that wasn't going to work, they said, we need to do something else. We started creating content, and people started commenting. If you want more people to come to your website, give them more reasons to come. It's as simple as that. Now, there's a strategy for creating content. Right? It's not SEO, blah, 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 blah. SEO is a thing of the past. There are some things that are important, but they're not that important. The Google and there's other web services besides Google, other search engines. There's Bing and Yahoo and Dogpile, all these guys. They all tell you the same thing. There's about 220 parameters. There's about 220 things I can do to a page to make it more searchable. Holy cow, that's a lot. Because I've learned there are about 10 things I can do that will give me 90 to 95% of my results. I don't need to do 220 things, I just need to do 10 of them really well. Well, that would be useful to know, wouldn't it? You see, if I'm getting 1 million people and I need to raise that number up, I care about the other 210. But if I'm getting 10 people and I spend all my time trying to do 210 things, I might get 10.002 people. What's that going to do for me? Right? So we work the basics, and so here we are, off we go, we do that. So rule number 1 is we need to have more. Now, here's a good question, how much more do I need? How much content do I need? And the answer to that question is, you keep creating content until the phone rings, or the email fills up. That's not that hard to figure out. If nobody's calling me, you know why? Because nobody knows who you are. If nobody's emailing us, well, my 40 articles didn't work. I'll do 40 more. It's still not working. Do 40 more. Keep doing it until the phone starts ringing. Now here's a good exercise for you. Write this one down. Who's your competitor? Who are you competing against? I don't care what your topic is, what your service is, what your product is. Who are you competing against? Go to that website. Go on their website. Start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find out how many pages they have. Do more than that. You'll beat them. I could beat Walmart. I really could. I could beat Walmart. It'd just be really, 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 really hard. Because they've got so much content. Right? Ask Walmart when they started competing with Amazon. You get it. If you want more people to come, give them more reasons. Give them better reasons. Work the 10. Don't work the 210. Work the 10. Get your titles right. Get your captions right. Get your descriptions right. Get your word count right. Get these very basics right, and more people will come. I've got proof. I can see it. Here they come. But it works for Chinese companies. It does. Well, here's something I know. Here's something I know. If I generate, I don't know, 400 articles, for example, if I put my head down for about 6 months, 9 months, depends on the size of my market. If I'm competing with every foo-foo coach in China, in California, right, that's going to be really hard. I got to outdo everybody. So if the market and the competition is really big, I've got to do more. But generally speaking, if I create about 400, write that down. You cannot imagine how hard it was for me to learn that number. But if I create about 400 articles, and I do that for over the course of 6 to 9 months, I'm going to see something happen. I will see movement in my Google Analytics. If I create 400 articles and I do them the right way for about 6 to 9 months, I will see movement in my article. I will see my movement on my website. Or I won't. Now, if I do the work, and I do it for 9 months, and nothing happens, do you know what that means? It means I got a crappy idea. Nobody cares. It just simply, if I do the work and I don't get a response, then I know. I would rather spend 5 months and $5,000 to find out I have a bad idea than spend 15 months and $50,000 to find out I have a bad idea. I can prove to you whether there's any legitimate interest in your idea or not, just by putting my head down and going to work. There's the numbers. There they are. Does that make sense? So what I need to do is I need to create a lot of content. I need to do it by formatting correctly. I need to get those 10 things right. And I need to keep doing it. I need to do it consistently, right? You know, the number one reason why businesses fail is because people don't stick with it long enough. They don't go in deep enough and they don't do it long enough. They will create 40 articles and say, I give up. Generally, if an idea is good at the beginning, it's good when I see it through. If you give up before the idea catches on, whose fault is that? It's, I have tangible, touchable, I can see with my eyes, I can click with my fingers, and I can prove that if I do this work this much long, I'll see that. And if I don't, I know the idea is no good. This is one of my all-time favorite websites. And I can remember it pretty well because you can see it's February 2014, right? So it's 4 years old. My daughter was about 6 years old when we started. I can remember because I can know how my daughter is. But you can see here, flat line. Why? Didn't exist. And then all of a sudden it existed. And then people started coming. And then, oh, something, a whole bunch of people came, a whole bunch of people came. It's about the same time, right? A whole bunch of people came. And then, now look at this, kind of good, right? I know this website very intimately. I happen to know that the person who owns this website doesn't work very hard. She just kind of does stuff sometimes. But she's had 30,000 people come to her website. This is my 10-year-old daughter's website. My little 10-year-old girl. This is her website.
She has 16,000 organic users.
Yeah, let's look at the organic people come to her website. She writes about growing up and parenting Chinese American children in Silicon Valley. That's her topic. Growing up, parenting Chinese American children in Silicon Valley. So she can talk about growing up in Silicon Valley, parenting in Silicon Valley, Chinese Americans in Silicon Valley, parenting Chinese American children. You can see all the different combinations of topics she can write about. You guys know KOIT? KOIT, the Coit Tower and all that kind of stuff. That's the first 4-letter word she learned. So I'm driving her to school and in the backyard, in the back of the car, KOIT, KOIT. So I went home to her website and I said, Mia learned her first 4-letter word, KOIT. And the jingle KOIT, I just hit the button and went on about and lived our life. About 2 years later, 2.5 years later, I get an email from KOIT. KOIT emails me and said, would Mia be interested in coming to San Francisco and singing for us on the KOIT radio? I said, Mia, you want to go up and get on the radio? She said, yeah, she had no idea. I said, let's go up and get on the radio. So we get in the car, we skip school, we get in the car, we go up to KOIT radio, we walk into this, on the 13th floor, the 44th floor, I forget, way up in the top of San Francisco somewhere, and this guy comes out with this bag. Are you Mia? We've been waiting for you. I've got, and he starts pulling goodies out of it. There's a Taylor Swift t-shirt. Do you like Taylor Swift? No, you do now. How about Moana? Here's the ticket to go see Moana. And he just started giving her presents. Because why? Because she had a website. And now every time something happens, they call us up and say, what does Mia think? We get in the car on the way down, we go buy a bagel, Starbucks bagel, right? She says, Daddy, if I create more content on my website, do you think we can do more things like this? A 10-year-old can figure it out. 10-year-old can figure it out. If you want more people to come to your website, give them more reasons to come. It's that basic. Now, what about other sources of traffic? Now this one like kills me. Bunch of numbers, a bunch of lines and all that kind of stuff. But this particular website of mine befuddled me to no end. You know the word befuddled? What's the #1 source of traffic here? From where? From where? What's T.co? Twitter! Say, what? You don't believe me, do you? But there it is. I don't believe me either. I could not for the life of me figure how in the world can you get anybody off of that noisy, obnoxious platform and come over here and interact with them. But there they are. I can do it. Now, it's really hard. It's time intensive. And if I put my head down and work hard enough at it, so over the course of about a year, we had 12,000 people from Twitter come visit our site 22,000 times. People from Twitter came 22,000 times. They spent on average 2 minutes per visit. Now here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to turn and look at the person next to you, all right? You turn. Everybody turn and look at somebody sitting next to them. And I want you to stare at them for 2 minutes and 9 seconds. No, look at me. You get it, right? If somebody's sitting on your website for 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and you cannot do business with them, whose fault is it? It's not the visitor's fault. Because the visitor's been... That's a long time, right? 2 minutes. Nice. So if I can get somebody to come onto my website for that long, and I don't engage with them, if they don't give me something, if I don't get their email, or they don't download something, it's not their problem, it's my problem. But I don't know that if I don't have people. I gotta have people before I can get feedback on what's working and what doesn't work. But here's what I think is cool. Look at this. Out of those 22,000 people, 3,000, that's a big number, 3,000 of them went to the page that I wanted them to go to. That's a big number. I wish I could get 22, I wish I could get 3,000 people. I've got people. And now those people have joined my forum, and they're in my forum, I've got their email address, and I can interact with them, I can do things with them. I can know them, look at that. So the question is, can we get people off of some other social media platform and come to engage with us? The answer is yes. If I want people to come to my website, first I want to give them more reasons to come. Number two, I want to make sure it's worth coming to. Compelling. If it's not compelling, nobody cares. The best content is compelling. The best content solves a problem. If you do not solve a problem for your visitors, nobody cares. This is interesting. Yeah, so what? There's a lot of interesting stuff. If you don't believe me, go to YouTube. Who hates YouTube? You get on YouTube, you're an hour and a half later, you're watching some girl in clogs doing dances from wherever. What am I watching this? There's these girls who can play the violin. They play this electric violin. They're really good. I don't even care, but they're really good. Right? Trying to get people off of YouTube. Good luck with that. I have a first-hand case study. I didn't put it up here. This guy climbs mountains. That's what he does. He climbs mountains. I don't know. And so he's climbing up Half Dome. He's going up the ropes, right? He's climbing up the ropes, climbing up the ropes. What do you mean? Here I am, climbing up the ropes. It's about a 7.5-minute video. He's had like 188,000 people come to that YouTube video. 188,000 people watched it. And down in the corner it says mywebsite.com, right? Mywebsite.com. So the question is, out of those 188,000 people, how many came to his website? 11. 11. You know, good luck with that, right? If you want more people to come, give them more reasons. If you want to convert them, give them very good reasons. Otherwise, nobody cares. Now, you usually ask me a question.
Yeah.
Better hurry up. I'm going to keep talking.
So my question is that how you struggle with Google AdWords, because that's good that you just want to go organically to the top race, but Google AdWords just my competitors, let's say, they can go and put really good money on that, and then my customers can go there. So
I have never done Google AdWords search before.
no, I'm asking
how
you're struggling. I mean,
I don't struggle with it.
Okay.
I put my solution that I'm providing to my target audience, and I forget about AdWords. I've never done AdWords research. I've never done competitive research. Now, granted, they can outpay me. You know, in China, Baidu, the first 3 pages are all paid. Google's getting pretty close to that. I'm of the opinion that page 2 is the new page 1. Because page 1 is almost all paid ads. And I figured if somebody paid to be there, I don't want to do business with them. I want to go find somebody who's worked hard to be up there. So what I want to say is if you're spending money on AdWords, you're wasting your money. Now, if it works for you, keep doing it. Right? If you can throw money at AdWords and you get enough people to show up, then keep doing that. But you have to keep paying, and you have to recover that money. So I'm of the opinion that the biggest problem with paying for visibility is when you stop paying, you have no more visibility. It's gone. Anything that I could pay the likes of Google, anything that I could pay them to create, to put on top, I can build on my own website. And it will perform for me forever, as long as I pay my hosting bill. So you don't need to pay AdWords. You know, the people who pay for AdWords are 2 kinds of people. The people who can get their money back, and lazy people. And I'm cheap. You know, I would rather work hard and have something that endures. And if I paid $3,000 a month on Google AdWords, for example, I could take that same $3,000 and depending on the quality and all these things, I could create 20, 40, 60, 100 articles that will perform for me forever. Why wouldn't I do that? And I can get those organic results. It'll keep working years. So I don't have to pay $3,000 every month. But I have to pay $3,000 or $8,000, whatever your size is, until I get the results I want. And then I can back off. The person who's doing AdWords has to pay for that forever. You see the difference there?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Another question is based on your experience. For example, there's 3 or 4 types of the content, right? One of them is just text content, another one a video, there's audio. So which one right now is reasonable?
Text will outperform all of them.
That's because of keywords or all these
No, forget the keyword thing. I mean, I get what you're saying. If you got your title right, and you write your opening sentence right, and you got headers placed throughout your article right, and you got an image with a caption properly placed, and a description that includes the keywords, everything else can be as natural as can be. You don't have to worry about keywords. You just simply do not have to do it. You have to understand your target audience. You have to understand what they're looking for. But I don't ever, I never consciously tried to put a keyword in one of my articles. I'm going to get it in my title for sure.
No, but as far as I learn, I know that,
Yeah.
for example, you know, you're doing some app, mobile app.
Yeah.
And for example, in your content, in your blogs, if you will each time will use mobile app, mobile app, mobile app, so it gives the chance for the Google to figure out you.
Of course, it's about mobile apps. Right, so that's what I'm going to put in my title. That's what I'm going to put in my image description.
So
That's
we
what I'm
can
going to
use
put in
these
my
keywords, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to put it in the content. I'm going to write good stuff that people care about. I don't have to stuff it there. You know, if I get my title correctly, I got 50% of the work done. Right? If I got my subheaders placed correctly, I've got most of my work done. If that makes sense, I don't need to. We should always strive to please the reader, not the bots. The bots have become quite sophisticated. They're going to figure out what this is about more or less. More often than not, the reason nobody's finding you is because you haven't worked hard on it. Or you tried too hard on one piece, one article. It just doesn't fly, it doesn't work. Does that make sense? So, can we get people off of a noisy platform and get them to come see us? Well, of course we can. Well, here's another way to get people. I've got about 3 minutes and then I'll stop. Not there. I created a network of meetups. And my meetups are all focused on marketing, blah, 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 right? So I got a meetup, Bloggers and Writers Network. How many members do I have? 1,817. Then I got another one about business marketing research. I've got 12 ones. Either marketing, blogging, marketing, search engine optimization. I've got another 1,300 people. Look at that. And then Bayer, that's not mine. That's a buddy of mine. So content marketing, right? Content marketing strategy, 950 people, and on and on and on. You see, I can get physical people to show up, to sit there next to me. Now, how do I know that works? There you are. You're sitting here, right? You see, but the strategy for growing a meetup group, there's 1,200 people here. There's not, that's a bad idea. I like it, but it's a bad idea, right? 1,100 people here. The strategy here is the same. I can launch a meetup. I can target my audience, right? And then I just give enough meetups. It'll grow. It's simply, there they are. The very same strategy I put here. If you want more people to come to your meetup, give them more reasons to come, right? And then you give them good reasons to come. You get those 10 things right, and you keep doing that until they come. And so I've got this one, and I've teamed up with a buddy of mine. There he is, Sunil. I think he's coming here next month. If he comes, you come, right? And you can see his 1,400, 1,100. Look at that, 3,700, 4,500, 2,200. That's a big numbers. Those are big numbers. Now, do those people all show up? No, but you showed up. Why? Because you don't have a Valentine. No, I'm kidding. No, you're here, right?
You're absolutely right.
That's right, that's right.
If I had a date, I wouldn't be here. So, hey, I'm just saying.
I thought he was your date.
No, not tonight.
Well, not tonight, maybe tomorrow night, right? All right, but there, you see it, right? If I put up enough content, I do it well, and I keep doing it, there, I got over 4,500 people show up. Now, I can offer up an idea. I think it's a really good idea. I'll send it out to 4,500 people. Between him and me, we have about 35,000 members, all local here. That's a big number. And I can put up an idea and I can send it out to 35,000 people. I say, wow, that's great. And then I show up and 6 people show up. Was it a good idea? No. Well, how do I know that? They voted with their feet. Right? See, all of us here, all of us say we want feedback. I'm not immune to that. Everybody wants feedback. But see, I think that's not true. Most people just want you to say nice things to them. Right? So if I create a meetup and I got 1,400 people and I said this is going to happen, it's going to be here, please come, and nobody shows up, it probably wasn't compelling enough, was it? Or they had a date. I don't know. So my job is to bring in people. And if I got people, I can do feedback. I wish I knew how many people have come to me after their marketing budget was spent. All $5,000 or whatever it was. Ask yourself this, but how much money would you like to make next year? $1 million? Well, we'll start with $1 million. However much money you want to make, $1 million, you need to plan to spend about 25% of that on marketing. So I want to make $1 million, well, you're going to spend $250K to make $1 million. Now, I, for the life of me, don't know how many people I've met here who said, I got $1,000, can you give me 10 people and spend $2,000 each for my product? No. No, you can't. Give it up. You're stupid. I put a big S on your head. Oh, you're stupid. You know, if I could spend $1,000 to make $20,000, would you do that? Well, anybody who can spend $1,000 to make $20,000, well, everybody's going to do that, then it won't work anymore. Right? There's an investment in time, there's an investment in energy, there's an investment in establishing credibility. If you want to make $100,000 next year, plan on spending $20, $25K to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. You're just throwing your money away. I don't know how many people I've met who've spent $2,000 trying to make $10,000. All I do is throw their $2,000 away. Be smart. Think long. Go in deep enough. Stay there long enough. And it'll work. Now, I'm 2 minutes over, but I'll show you one more picture, all right? There's my Twitter. That was me. Woo-hoo! 81,000. This is email marketing, right? Email marketing. It's hard to see, but this is 14.67. 14.6, I'm going to refresh it. I kind of saved that. We launched it, we did this today. Let's see if that number goes up. Please go up, please go up. I'll be embarrassed. Please go up, please go up. Go up, make it go up. Please go up. Aha! 1492. Move it up. Email works. If you can get people to read it. And email works if you can get people to read it and what? You got emails. You got to have emails. If you don't have emails, then ain't nobody who you're going to send emails to. And if you just out of the blue send somebody an email, think, wow, somebody's going to read this, and I'm going to make a bunch of money. Good luck, it doesn't work. So it took us about 6 months. It took me about 6 months to grow this email list. Now that's a different strategy. It took me about 6 months to grow this email list. I can show you that there are now 2,392 people on that list. And so far, as of this morning, 357 people have read that. That's a good number. I'm not done yet. It'll go up to about 600 maybe. But so email will work if you have an email list. And the only people who will read your email is people who care about what you write about. And the way to get people to care about your email, how are you going to do that? Send them a lot of emails, make sure it's good content, and keep doing the same strategy. Same strategy. Do it a lot. Do it well. Do it often. Keep doing it. Do a lot, do it well, do it often, keep doing it. And the content of that email is, I have an answer, I have a solution for you. If you're not solving somebody's problem, nobody cares. You're just talking. There's a lot of stuff on content. You got education and information, inspiration, and leadership. Now I got one more and I'm going to stop. Then I'll answer your questions. Now this is my thing. So now I'm a Christian. If that bothers you, you can leave. I'm not embarrassed. I decided I'm going to launch a church online. I'm going to launch an online church. Wonder if that'll work, right? And there it is. And I launched this about 3 weeks ago. Well, a little more than 3 weeks ago. Probably 3 months ago. But so far, look at that. 635 people. 635 people have joined my online church. Now let me refresh that. Now, everybody cross your hand, fingers. Hope it goes up. Maybe we should pray instead. Hope it goes up, hope it goes up, hope it goes up, please go up, please go up. Watch this.
I just joined.
Look at it. 641.
I just joined.
Yeah, that's 642. Now, it's easy enough. I hope nobody's from Nicaragua or somewhere like that. I could buy people for 10 cents from Nicaragua. That's not why I don't think it do me any good. I need real people. I want real people to say, I like this. And so I started buying this. This goes completely against everything I've ever thought in my entire life. But I started buying. I started advertising on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I hate paying for stuff. But I took my 2,392 emails. Remember that? My 2,392 emails that I worked so hard to get? I took those 2,392 emails and I uploaded them to Facebook to find out how many of those people are on Facebook. And there's 1,300 of them. 1,300 of those 2,392 people are on Facebook using the same email. And there's probably other people there, but they'll use a different email. So now I got them. So now I can target specifically those people, saying, hey, this is me, it's an online church, I'm a preacher, hello, we've been emailing back and forth, wouldn't you be interested in it? And see what happens. Now, I can see that too. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it or not. So far, since January 23rd, this is the lifetime. The lifetime of the advertising campaign, lifetime, right? 527 people have responded to my ad out of 3,900. So that's like less than 1/8. That's like 1/7, 1 out of 7 people. So out of my impressions, about 80%, 85% of my impressions are actually reaching the targeted person. And out of that 3,300 people, 500, that's like 1/6. 16%, 17% of those people are actually joining, and it's costing me, on average, 12 cents per. But that's not what's really cool. Okay, that's not what's really cool. Look at that. I can see who they are. My #1 source of church members, don't you laugh. You're already laughing, I didn't even told you yet. My #1 source of church members is 65-year-old ladies. 65 years or older ladies. I can even tell you how many there are. Look at this. 200 out of those 650, 268, 270 of them were 65-year-old ladies. Because what? Because that's who I'm targeting. I am trying to reach people who are stuck at home. And they're not in a hurry. I'm not going to get into that compete for the first 10 seconds to see if I can take my clothes off faster than you, because if I took my clothes off, I'd lose you for sure. No, I don't want to compete for those 10 seconds. I want to reach people who are not in a hurry. So about 2/3 of my 600 people are 55 years or older, and then most of them are the women folk here. Now, when I prepare my sermon on Sunday, do you think that'll make a difference? Absolutely. But I know who's listening. And I can do that because I worked 5 months, 6 months to build a real email list that I had engaged with so that they knew me, trusted me, so that I could upload, get it look alike, and then reach out to them. Now, I got 700 people almost. I can also reach out to those 700 people and their friends. Very, very, very specific. And every one of these people are in the U.S. And let's say we're from some foreign country who create a US Facebook account, and I can't help that. So, my point is this. We all need people at some point. If you want more people, give them a good reason to come. Give them a lot of good reasons. Keep giving them reasons, often, and keep doing it. If your idea is good, stay with it until it catches on. If you're not solving a problem, what? If you're not solving somebody's problem, what?
You don't have a good idea.
Nobody cares. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'll be happy to ask questions. You can turn off we can leave. She's Facebook Live in this thing. Everybody say, yay! Go. Come on. Yay! Yeah! You guys are losing. All right, that's it. You got questions? You used your quota of questions already. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't want to ask.
No, go for it. Nobody else is going to ask questions? You paid a lot of money to be here tonight, right?
I'll go if you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so really good suggestion. Thanks for just, just straightforward suggestions. But as I understood, your suggestion is doing as much content based on your website. Just actually, you have the blog section, and each day you just create some content. Good strategy, and it's organically you can grow. Which other resources, free resources, you suggest that the text which you have daily you're creating, just copy paste there as well? For example, I think Facebook has posts, just free posts you can put there.
Okay.
The LinkedIn they had something like this. So do you suggest to put as a link of your website there, or just also copy paste the text there and use these resources? So this is the first question. Second question is which resources do you suggest to use?
All right, that's a loaded question. Are you still filming this?
You wanted it.
It's up to you. But I remember something I was going to ask you. You asked me what kind of content is best. Text will perform best to get search results. Video is great for user experience. So after somebody's on your website, then you want to give them something to look at. The video will work. But video is a poor source of getting people to your website. Does that make sense? Because in order for a video to display, Google or Bing or somebody's going to have to capture the title, capture the description. Oh, that's kind of what we're looking for. Then they have to look at the video, download the video, transcribe the words that are in the video, and then decide whether it's relevant before it displays in the search. So Google's really fast. They're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do. But it's slower than just outright text. Text will get them there faster. Video will keep them there longer. Audio, podcast, that kind of will keep them there longer. Those are great sources for keeping people. That's for user experience. So if you have a blog, you can decide where your audience is at. Are they on Facebook? Maybe not, I don't know. Are they on LinkedIn, for example? See, what I do on Twitter, to get those 30,000 or 3,000 people to sign up, I could do the same thing on LinkedIn. I just haven't done it because my target's not on LinkedIn. But you can do the very same thing there. Most of what you publish on your blog, you can automatically broadcast to your preferred social platform. There's a great resource that doesn't work, but it works a lot of the time. It's IFTTT. I think it's .com, I'm not sure. IFTTT.com. It's if this, then that. And you can, whatever you do here, it can automatically do that for you over there. And I use that a lot. Hey, I want money if anybody signs up for the premium version. I'm kidding. If TTT, that works really well. I use WordPress for my content management system. You know why? It's free. I have to pay for my hosting, but the template's free. And anything you want, almost anything in the world you want to do with your WordPress site, there's a plugin that'll do it for you. You just have to search it and try it and make sure it doesn't break. So the answer to your question is, I don't know what's best because I don't know what your topic is or what your service is. But you do. You know, if you're picture heavy, if you're a fashion designer or something like that, and you're picture heavy, whatever you post here, you're going to put up on Instagram or put up on Pinterest, for example. Right? You're not filming this, right?
Okay, I can stop.
No, I don't film. Are you filming it still? I kind of, Facebook's growing on me. And I hate that. But Facebook has really matured. You know, in the beginning, you could do everything and do anything and get nothing for it. Now you can actually see tangible results there. So it has matured. And LinkedIn is catching up. They just have a different audience and smaller demographic to work with. You had a question, sir?
Well, I was going to ask, how do we professionally get in touch with you? Do you have services you're offering? Obviously, I'm interested in some consultation. You don't mind.
That's my phone number. You can text me. If you call me, I will not pick up.
Okay.
Because it might be the IRS or the FBI or you know how do you get this
I'm with you on that one. Yes.
So just think, and if I don't recognize who it is,
I'll
just text me.
reference.
We met at where we are here, and then I'll follow up. I promise I will. I'm really good at that.
Okay.
And if I don't, I will. But you can try. You don't. You know, pleasantly persist. I don't mind.
No, this is a marketing. This is a marketing ad
Yeah.
talk. So I will be as persistent as I can.
So what I want to, yeah, persistence is tremendous. You know, marketing. Everybody says half of marketing works, right? But nobody knows which half. Well, I know which half. I know what I can do, and I'll see that. The only thing I cannot guarantee is that you'll sell your product. We can guarantee people will look at that. So I didn't ask you for your phone number. I don't want your email. I don't want it. No, thank you. Because I don't want to be in a position where I'm chasing you. Because that doesn't work. Right? When people come looking for you, they're better than people you went looking for. So if I had to chase you and text you, I wasted my time for a couple $100. I ain't doing that. No way. So anyway, that is my real phone number. Don't spam me. Unless you're cute. Don't do it. Don't do it. Get my wife and me mad. See, I'm supposed to be home for my Valentine's Day, and here I am hanging out with you guys. Look, seriously, any more questions? Ask me something hard. The answer is always going to be work harder.
What was your Twitter handle again?
It ain't going to be any good. At BillBelew.com. At BillBelew. _ But I don't spend a whole lot of time here because I'm old. Look, I'm old. I love the church. I really love to do. I'm going to put my heart and soul into that. See, I want to take everything I've learned and try to apply it. I'm trying to preach to y'all. I'm going to try to take everything I learned there and try to apply it there. But every now and then I get asked to come here and help do this. But my favorite question at some point is, what have I done wrong? I would love to tell you the hard lessons I've learned that you promise not to judge. Because I've messed up. What would I do different? How would I do things? Those are my favorite questions, right? But what I really want to do is take the knowledge I have and give it to an idea that I really care about, and that's my church life. Yes, sir.
So, can you please give an example, like what kind of content should be there in the emails? Because to be honest with you, I mean, like when I see these subscription emails, I don't actually bother to read them.
Yeah.
So I just delete them, right? They all go to my trash. So I mean, what kind of content should be there, in order to, which is very eye-catching. So you can just take an example of any of the product or anything like that.
All right. The best kind of content for any email is the kind of content that solves a problem.
Okay.
Whatever that problem is for whomever you're emailing it to. Now, it's different for everybody, right? So if I'm emailing to a bunch of preachers and they want more people to come on Sunday, let me tell you how to get more people to show up on Sunday. They'll open it up. Right? Then I can probably do this. So when I sent this email out today, let's see if this number goes up. Everybody say, please go up, please go up, go up, go, 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 go. See, it doesn't get that big a result. But here's what I want to show you, this part. See, I A/B tested. I A/B tested for the first 200. So I sent this title to 120 people. You are invited to join 500 plus others who are lifting up Jesus. That was the title. And then 118, invite your non-Christian friends to join, blah, blah, blah. So I used two different titles to see which one would perform the best. And I always put this, 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, because everybody wants, how long is it going to take me to read this dumb thing? If it's gonna take me 6 minutes, this guy always writes a lot, I ain't reading that. I said, if you clicked on mine, you'll know you're in and out in less than 30 seconds. Take a look, right? That's a personal technique. But from these, I can see that A is more than 2% better. Well, what's 2% of 2,300? That's another 50 people. And so SendGrid, this is the one I use, I'm not making any money. SendGrid will test that out. Look, I got almost 3% more opens. Unique opens. So I can test my different titles to find out which one works better for my audience. And I've done this 40 or 50 times. You know what I've learned? I still don't know. I mean, I've put up, I always do 2 titles, and one always does better than the other one. But sure as shooting, I'll think this title's better than that one, and it ain't. So, but what I really figured out is if I'm solving a problem, and if the people I'm emailing are used to hearing from me because I've given them stuff in the past, they're going to be interested in what else I have to give them, right? And so for this particular group, what I did over the course of, I don't know, 5 months or so, I created polls, like, you know, which is most important, you know, this, or this, like this guy. And I belong to several Facebook groups that are very popular, very engaging, and I got in there and I'm talking to people about stuff I don't care about because that's what I have to do, right? But I'm interacting with people and, oh, this is interesting, and we start talking. So I build a relationship with the people in there, and then I put up a poll and I get some results from those polls. And so I belong to 4 different groups, and I've got about 17,000 people in those 4 groups. And by the time I give those results, I know something. That's, wow, I didn't know that. Dude, like, you know, Pat, are you familiar with the church at all? For example, okay, somebody stands up and talks, right? Well, I took a poll. How many of you prepare for that by yourself? How many of you sit in a room all by yourself preparing? And everybody would be interested in knowing, am I the only one who sits in here by myself? So I did a survey and I figured that out. And I said, let me tell you how many of you are sitting all by yourself. And everybody, that was a really popular one. And then I created another question, would you like to have someone else to study with? Now I can create I've given them something they want to know. And when your readers are used to getting something from you that's useful to them, the open rate starts to go up.
Right.
That make sense?
Yes.
That's how I did it. There's nothing magic about it. Nothing, I got the right words.
But like, you know, whenever there is a big paragraph or something like that, people are, I mean, like, it's not like people don't find it much, I mean, they don't read it with that enthusiasm, right? So, I mean, it should be something like, I mean, I believe it that way. I mean, like video or something, I mean, which is related to your content.
Yeah. So, if nobody's reading your email, you know why? They're no good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Actually, I don't send them right now, but I receive a bunch of emails in the morning like this, so.
Well, all right, let me ask you this question. Are there some of them that you actually open up?
Sorry?
Are there a few of those emails you actually open up and read?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Then ask yourself why they do that.
Like
You're going to find out this is somebody I care about, this is somebody has something, information that I want to know, here's a piece that this guy is always on topic, this girl has, do that for your readers. And it'll take you about 5 or 6 months of emailing them weekly, you know, doing it a lot, doing it often, doing it well, and keep doing it until you actually build up that relationship. See, you get in a hurry because I've got 2,000 people and I want to sell them something. It doesn't work. This doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So I've got an e-commerce startup, and it's mass customization, and I'm eliminating 70% of the cost stack, distribution and inventory. And so it's furniture, it's highly visual, a little bit less on the words because, you know, our key attribute is it's customized for size, so that Manhattanizer can order something in the size, a Dallas homeowner can order in that size. And it's a distributed ecosystem, distributed marketplace. And
Okay,
so,
there's got to be a question here. Good.
yeah, so images.
I see images aren't searchable. Now, Google's goggles can actually pick things up, and it looks like a soap opera.
Yeah.
Somebody put a hot dog on it, guess what they thought that looked like?
How about the caption? How about the text under Instagram? Or
So on Instagram, there's going to be somewhere around 150 words to 200 words minimum description needed in order for that image to be searchable.
right?
About 10 to 20%, 10 to 15% of my traffic comes via image search. That's why I put image in all my content. That's why I put images in all my emails. People want to see what they're reading about, or they want to read about what they're looking at. So you're going to put image in it. Image is going to have a caption, it's the title of that picture. There's going to be a 150 character Twitter size description. That's what makes it more searchable.
Okay, so
Otherwise, you just depending on people to stumble to actually find that.
exactly, and so if
You guys got to go. You're welcome to sneak out. You hurt my feelings.
Thank you so much.
Just don't walk in front of the camera and don't think, what a loser. Everybody's leaving. We'll be in touch maybe.
Yeah, but I will reach out.
so the marketing medium is imagery, I should at least have, let's say, 150 characters or more.
More. So here, like it's highly tailorable for Manhattan. It's Manhattan, something sized apartment to this fit, blah, blah. It's very mechanical. It's very dry, but it's also very meaningful. And it's also very searchable. Right? The difference between people who get found on Instagram and those who don't is people have something findable. It can't just be a picture. How are you going to find it?
Yeah, sure.
Right? The way you find stuff on YouTube, how do you find stuff on YouTube? Titles and descriptions. Right? You always put the title there. You know, electric violins played by Scottish girls in high heels or something. I don't know. And then there's a description. These people live over here. Titles and descriptions are what's searchable for visual things. It takes 2 minutes to actually explain what that image is about, and you'll see it rise up. But custom cutting board woman. Well, she had a website. All she had a bunch of pictures of cutting boards. Until she started explaining, this is what you would do with your cutting board. You just moved to Manhattan and you don't want to go to IKEA because whatever, and when you can just tell that story. Piece by piece, item by item, lamps and whatever, and you'll see it work. If you can't do it, then hire someone to do it for you. They'll do it for you. Or hire me and we'll do it for you. I got a team of people. Any other questions? Yes, sir, ma'am.
A very basic question. When you send out email to a bunch of people, won't they be filtered or be into the spam or anything?
If it goes to their spam, they're not my people.
I mean, but even if Google or Yahoo, they would put you.
No, I don't send my email to search engine. I send my email to an email
No, I mean
list.
the people's Gmail. They have Gmail, Yahoo,
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't care. Right? If they don't want to read my email, I don't want them to read my email. Right? If somebody doesn't really want the email from me, just unsubscribe. I don't want to force my idea on anybody because it doesn't
No,
work.
it went to spam, it's fine.
It's gone. I don't know. But see, I can see with my email client, this here, that 98.48% are delivered. So you tell me how many got delivered. So I got a 90, that's a pretty good number. I mean, I can't nobody get 100%, but I'm always 98, 99% of my emails actually get delivered. So they're in their email box somewhere. Now, did they get read them? I don't know. But I can go here to see how many people open it. This is what I care about. I care about open rate. And then I care about how many that is. And if people unsubscribe, yeah. If you don't want it, then leave. We don't. If you try to force somebody to buy something, they won't do it. And if they do, they're going to get mad when it doesn't work. You'll spend more time taking care of them than it took to get them. It's not worth it. What do you sell?
No, just sometimes I just send out email.
Yeah. If you sometimes send out an email, give it up. It doesn't work. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. The best people to send emails to are people who have already given you money.
Well, actually, that's something I cannot say just sometimes. It's probably from time to time. But I find out if I send to a corporate, and then sometimes they have firewall, and then so.
If they have blocked you out,
Yeah, and it's
then
not
they're
the
not your
person.
customer.
No, it's not a person who takes it. It's their IT. I mean, they.
Yeah, then you have a bum email address. or you have a bad relationship with the person you're trying to email to. You see, it's not about can I give you my, if I try to send an email to somebody I don't know, I'll have that problem. If I send an email to somebody I know and who knows me, and I have something they want,
No, I think
they'll
I-
get through.
No, I think I didn't explain well.
Okay.
I mean, send out a group email, right? So you, for example, you have a 600 person you want to send an email to, you are not going to send one by one to you.
No, ma'am. But I'm not going to send 600, I'm not going to send a group to 600 people. I don't know all these people personally, but I have sent more than 30 emails to these people, once a week. And
What?
over time, they start opening up. Some of them, from the beginning, they don't care. I started off with more than 3,000 emails. I had like 3,106, I don't know. Now I have 2,392. And that's fine with me. If they don't want my email, that's fine. Just unsubscribe and I'll go on. Am I missing? So you're trying to email people who are not waiting for your email. That's a problem.
No, my question is, like what I said, is very basic. For example, you send an email to 30 person, you know, send it once.
No. If I send
Okay.
emails to 30 people, I want to make sure those 30 people, I know them and they're waiting for my email.